What up?
Welcome back to another video. This is D-Dub, your source, or should I say a source, not necessarily the source, but a source, for a bunch of video game related news, topics, discussions, reviews, and in some cases, Animal Crossing. Now for anybody out there who may be watching this video, chances are you know Animal Crossing, and you know why you're here, and you know why I'm making this video. So if you do like this video, and you are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, don't forget to hit that like button, and let's talk about what's going on with Nintendo, and with Animal Crossing New Horizons just around the corner. We all know that Animal Crossing New Horizons is just about 40 days away, and it's coming upon us real fast. And there's all this news and kind of quote-unquote controversy that's surrounding this game that's about to be coming out. Now, it's recently been unveiled and fully confirmed by Nintendo, by Animal Crossing, that there is no cloud saves for this game. There is no data transfer of this game to any other Nintendo Switch console. It's also been confirmed that you can only have one island per Nintendo Switch console, and that you can have up to 8 villagers living on a single island per game per Nintendo Switch. So what does this mean? It means if you have kids and they each want their own island, if you're a parent, if you're anybody, and you want to have more than one island, what you will need to do is have an additional Nintendo Switch, not just another game to be able to create a new island with, like with previous games. So of course Animal Crossing started off on the GameCube, and with that game, you had a memory card, all your save files, and now that we're in a different era with no memory cards, this is becoming a really big issue now. When you look at Wild World and both New Leaf for the Nintendo DS and 3DS respectively, their saves were tied to the game cartridge itself, which means if you wanted to have a new island, you could go and buy another game for 20 bucks, 40 bucks when it was brand new, and you could start yourself a new island. The saves weren't tied to the console themselves. And when you look at Animal Crossing as a whole, with all the other games, with the way that their saves worked, and the restrictions on this game, it's making no sense to most of us why Nintendo developed this game this way, and why there's so many different little things that just don't seem that they went about it correctly, and so many other unanswered questions. We haven't had a direct yet to give us full confirmation of what we can and cannot do, what the full lineup of restrictions are. But it would stand to reason that in 2020, a game like this would have more features completely across the board than to just be taking features away, as might be the case with this new Animal Crossing game that's coming out in a month. And with the fact that there hasn't been a Nintendo Direct yet, but that there might be coming in the near future, all that can lead us to do is to speculate, and that's pretty much what I'm doing here, is just speculating, creating a conversation, and just wondering aloud why a game like Animal Crossing that's so beloved, that is so hyped, that is going to definitely sell 18 million copies of the game by the time the Nintendo Switch is said and done. Just why they went about things this way, and why they've let it get to this point without stating any facts or correcting people out there. Of course, soon everything will be revealed, and we will know what is going to be and what isn't going to be. But here, let me read this official statement that is on Nintendo.com's Animal Crossing New Horizons page. It clearly states,
This game does not support the save data cloud functionality of Nintendo Switch Online. However, a limited ability to recover Animal Crossing New Horizons save data from the server in the event of system failure, loss, or theft will be available to Nintendo Switch Online members sometime in the future. Check back for more details as they are available.
So with them backpedaling essentially and saying that you can't use the cloud service with your Nintendo Switch Online as long as you have Nintendo Switch Online in the future, it still won't be a Nintendo Switch Online cloud data save backup, but it will still be something regarding with the Nintendo Switch's online service in the case of theft or broken Switch. Or I guess maybe even if you just lied about it and you got a new console because the new Animal Crossing console is coming out a week before the game. It seems that they're trying to do this in order to damage control any parents or people that may be wanting to buy this console, hoping that they would get that first instead of waiting 6 months after playing the game, seeing that the console is something that they could actually buy, buying it, which let's face it, most people would just buy the console thinking that it's not going to be a problem to get this game save over there, and then realizing if you are a late adopter to this limited edition Animal Crossing console or a Switch Lite or any other type of Switch that's brand new to you, you are basically going to be punished. And most people aren't going to read the fine print. They're just going to go home, take the system home. More than likely, 100%, it's going to happen to more than just one person. And they're going to take the Switch home and look at this giant onslaught of internet answers that state that you can only have one save file per Nintendo Switch. And just as any other consumer, especially one that has just spent $300 plus tax on a new console, they're going to be pissed. And what can I say? It is rightfully so. So this next thing on Nintendo.com, it says,
Animal Crossing does not support the ability to transfer your save file from one Nintendo Switch system to another.
No, I've looked at a bunch of other games, and there is not a one that says that. This next part states,
Up to 8 Nintendo account holders can live on the same island within each game. With one Nintendo Switch system and one game, up to 4 of those Nintendo account holders can play on the same island at the same time. Additional accessories required. With additional systems and games, up to 8 players can play on the same island at the same time via localist wire or online play. Nintendo Switch Online membership and Nintendo account required for online features. Not available in all countries. Internet access required for online features. Terms and conditions may apply. Nintendo.com/Switch-Online. Game systems, additional accessories, and Nintendo Switch Online membership sold separately.
So I've been thinking about how this will be implemented and exactly what the reason is behind them building the game this way and making it so that cloud saves are completely null and void for this game. And I can't come up with anything concrete that really seems to make sense. I don't really understand why. We all know that this is, for the most part, a single-player, non-competitive game. So cheating, time traveling, things of that nature, trying to duplicate items and or mess with your, I guess in this case, micro SD card to try to get an edge in a single player type game against yourself, or I guess even in the case of a family where they're all playing on the same island, a brother or sister or parent trying to gain the competitive edge and duplicate items and or get items early that you shouldn't have access to until certain tasks and requirements are met. That just doesn't seem like a good enough reason here to not have cloud saves. Now, the only reason that I can come up with this is that if you can have up to 8 people living on an island, 4 people playing at the same time, 8 wirelessly with different systems that can all come to the same island, it just seems very convoluted in the, I guess, amount of people, because if you go and look at the Nintendo Switch eShop and you go and look at Animal Crossing New Horizons, it says players 1 to 4 and then players online 1 to 8. So there's a little bit of confusion and mumble jumble in the amount of people that they're trying to get in on this game. Now, they're trying to make it multiplayer focused, but it's multiplayer local, so it's not a competitive multiplayer, and that makes sense. And it would seem that if you have multiple people living on the same island and you're trying to just move this save file, I don't understand. My guess would have to be that moving the other profiles that go along with that, which your character would be attached to, is just too much hassle for the system, I guess, to actually transfer to another system. You can transfer your profile, but not having the cloud save would make it so that you're unable to actually move the whole island. So if you have, like I said, a family with 4 kids and they're all living on the same island, it seems like something would be lost in translation, trying to just move that one save to another system, trying to then pair back the user profiles with it so that no characters are lost, which are tied to the progress of the game and the way the island looks and the layout of everything, depending on who's played it when, how much time they've put into it. This is a game that remembers every little step that you take and everything that you pick up and move and place on the ground and then save and leave for future you to come along and play the game in. And of course, with Nintendo's stubbornness to only allow the use of an SD card to put save data on, which is done through the system itself. You can't actually do that yourself. Everything is tied in the system. It's just one more step that Nintendo has done terribly wrong right from the start, and I think this was the only way that they could actually implement this game. And I don't think this game was being worked on when the Nintendo Switch came out, because I think they would have thought of things better and done something different to make it much easier to be able to transfer your character, island, everything to another Nintendo Switch without having so many damn problems, without everything having to be tied to a profile that you are just 1/4 of if it's you and 3 other people playing on an island, where you would then have to transfer the save data and then have 4 linked Nintendo accounts, profile accounts, that you would then have to also log into to transfer it from one system to the next. And since if you had 4 to 8 people playing their own copy of Animal Crossing New Horizons, trying to come to, say, your island specifically, and all have them play on, it seems that you're going to need Nintendo Switch Online anyway. So that, coupled with the fact that this future implementation of however this save data is going to actually be able to be obtained, should anything happen to your Switch, whether it be broken or stolen, it kind of stands to reason that Nintendo kind of messed up here, and they didn't really think this thing out, and they didn't think out their whole online service when they unrolled it. They didn't think out games like this with this type of appeal, with this type of multiplayer implementation. They didn't think it out how it was going to work with the system down the line, and I think it's time that Nintendo takes a step back and kind of takes a look at their online service and the way that they've implemented all of these things, and the way that they're doing games such as this, and stripping back features that were once way easier to deal with on systems that are almost 20 years old at this point. And then with the fact that this future recovery system is being tied to Nintendo Switch Online, which other cloud saves are also tied to that. but given the super multiplayer aspect of this game, it just stands to, at least my reason, that it just seems like this is just another ploy to get more people to buy Nintendo Switch Online. If you're gonna have a family with up to, say, 4 kids, or 6 or 7 or 5 or 3 people all playing at the same time, or at different times using Nintendo Switch Online, at $20 a piece for a year if you're gonna be going that route. It would seem that Nintendo understands that probably most people in a situation with many people playing this game on multiple Switches, online, locally, however they're gonna do it, they're gonna be trying to sell and get people in on this Nintendo Switch Online family plan, which is $35. And over the past few days, I've tried to figure out other reasons and other scenarios to why they would have done it this way. And I think it's just the confusion of the way that they decided to tie the saves to the system internally, not being able to use an external SD card to move your saves around, the cloud data being tied to Nintendo Switch Online, and then a game like this, which is so multiplayer focused, be it online or locally, that I think they just kind of ran into a wall here, and now they're stepping on their own feet, and I don't think there's much that they can do to retract it, other than after so many people have stated their piece, they are going to offer something in the future that will be tied to Nintendo Switch Online, but won't be the cloud save data backup that is actually available through Nintendo Switch Online. It's going to be some additional option that most likely will end up being tied to your cell phone, and it's going to be just one more convoluted step to Nintendo's overall online service that they've just been continuing to roll out, not update, but just strip features back on. And it's really just a pain in the ass, and it's kind of sad to see that a game this big hasn't been being talked about. We haven't gotten a direct yet. It's going to sell huge no matter what, just like Pokemon. It's going to set a record, maybe even at 20 million. This game might even sell 25 million and beat Mario Kart 8 out on the Nintendo Switch. That is definitely a possibility. And it's sad that such a big game doesn't get treated the way that it should. Gets all these funky little things implemented in it that just turn people off. It turns people off in a bad way that, as a company, they kind of should know better. They should be striving to do things differently, and instead this is just one more isolated incident of just a very strange occurrence with a game and with their online service. Not playing nice together, not working together, and them just kind of saying, oh well, and then trying to figure it out for a future, and trying to figure it out for the future while telling people that there is going to be some kind of rollout plan and to stay tuned for details. But until that game comes out, we won't be getting any details. It probably won't be in a direct. Chances are this game will have DLC and many updates going into the future, and it's probably going to be at least a year before we even find out anything about this cloud save data backup. And I just think it's sad to see from one of my favorite games, from one of Nintendo's best-selling games, that things just had to be this way. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. Do you have any other reasons for why you think this game is being handled this way? Reasons that I may have completely just overlooked or not even thought of in general. Let me know in the comment section down below. And with all that rambling and ranting out of the way, I just want to say thank you to those who watched. Once again, if you're new to D-Dub, your source, not the source, but a source, for a whole bunch of things gaming, news-related topics, discussions, and reviews, as well as live streams. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and hit that like button. This is D-Dub, and I'll see you guys on the next one.